If you work in sales, you'll hear the term pipeline pretty often. It's more than just a buzzword. A sales pipeline is a vital tool that can significantly impact your bottom line. Usually presented as a funnel or a horizontal bar, sales pipelines are divided into various stages of the sales process. Leads move from one stage to the next as they get closer to becoming a customer. This visual representation helps you track and evaluate sales activities, giving you a clear insight into how well your sales process is working and where more impactful improvements can be made to your pipeline. This provides you with the answer to an important question: how many deals do you need to add to your pipeline to reach your objectives? With a well-designed sales pipeline, you'll be able to calculate the number of deals you need early in the pipeline to meet your revenue goals. Now, no two businesses are the same, and understanding the importance of a pipeline is crucial for tailoring one that fits with your unique business needs. For example, if you're a real estate agent, your pipeline will likely contain house viewing, while if you're a B2B sales professional selling software, you'll probably have a product demo early in your pipeline. But there are some basic principles we'll go over that can help you get started on building your pipeline. Let's begin with the first step in building your sales pipeline: taking stock of your prospective buyers. Before you start building each stage of your pipeline, you'll need a list of prospective buyers, meaning people you think would like to buy your product. Every organization prospects differently. For instance, you might have dedicated teams that are sourcing new leads through cold calling, or maybe you generate leads through social media. At a bare minimum, your list of prospects should include their contact information, company, position, whether or not they're a decision maker, and their pain points and challenges. The next step is to set up your sales pipeline in stages. It's easy for your sales team to get overwhelmed by revenue goals if they don't have a guide on how to achieve them. It's better to break down each deal into daily activities that need to be done in order to close a sale. If you already have a sales process in place, you'll probably have your pipeline roughly outlined. If not, though, don't worry. Here are some common stages that most sales pipelines implement: prospecting, qualifying, contacting, relationship building, closing, and following up with cold leads. It's worthwhile to consult your team in the decision-making process while you build your pipeline, as they're the people who will use it. Letting them offer their opinions and advice will make your sales pipeline a more efficient tool for collaboration, communication, and project management. Now, the third step is to refine your stages as you go. Once you've implemented your sales pipeline, you may see that certain activities or conversations between your sales team and prospects happen again and again. You'll find some stages that are unnecessary and discover others that you need. It's up to you and your team to decide whether these regular occurrences should be a stage in your pipeline. For example, you may want to add negotiation as a stage if you often have to strike a deal with a prospect to get them over the line. In fact, it might take a few attempts to figure out what works best for your business. The final step is to keep your pipeline up to date. Now that you've built a pipeline with your existing contacts and deals, how can you make sure it stays up to date? It might be tricky, primarily if your team hasn't worked with a pipeline before and they're not used to entering contact information and moving deals forward. The easiest way to do this is to consider the stages as a to-do list, with each stage corresponding to an activity that your team must complete. Once an activity is complete, your team will move a deal to the next stage. You might notice that in some of your stages, it's pretty clear what you need to do. You might need to make contact or set up a meeting. For others, like lead qualification, it might not be quite as obvious. In these situations, you'll need to make very specific rules to satisfy the conditions that must be met to move a deal forward. In the example of lead qualification, you could ask the following questions. Does your prospect have a budget for your product or services? Is the prospect able to make purchasing decisions, or do they need to convince someone else? And do they truly need your product? If you get any negative responses, they're probably a cold lead and might not be a good fit. Now, alternatively, you could consider breaking some broader stages into smaller steps so they're easier to tick off. So, for example, making contact can be broken into first contact, set meeting, and presentation. However, there can always be too much of a good thing. If you have too many stages, managing the sales pipeline may become kind of cumbersome, so you might need to consolidate. With your sales pipeline in place, managed, and kept up to date, it'll help you and your sales team seamlessly track deals and activities. Now, what tool do you use for this? You can build and manage your pipeline with just about any tools that come to hand, from sticky notes to an Excel spreadsheet. However, if you do want an easy and efficient tool for managing sales pipelines and closing deals, consider Pipedrive CRM. The steps we've covered for building a pipeline can be completed in Pipedrive. With Pipedrive, you can customize your pipelines to adhere to your sales process. Its intuitive interface makes it easy for salespeople to log their activities. They can work on the platform every day, completing activities and checking them off as done. Pipedrive is packed with features to help you seamlessly manage your pipeline. So if you're curious about how Pipedrive can help you improve your sales process, use the link at the end of this video to start a free trial. See you soon!